exactly, but in those areas, it's 99% Latino. If the demand is there, the supply will be there, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute.
And I just want to add too, talking about the LA riots, it did come to that point in Inglewood, is basically where it cut off as it made its way from lots. And we did have one, I think it was a Vaughn's, or I think it was like a Lucky's Basket or something like that. And it was affected by the riots. It closed down for many years, and they never rebuilt it for those same reasons, that they were just too scared to rebuild and bring another chain market. That was the only chain market in that vicinity. They turned around and ended up building a school, an elementary school, which is great because there's definitely a need there. But even though the chains left, there's still definitely enough stores that came and supplied. So yeah, there is definitely a paradox where you have the less infiltrated communities that do demand it, and Mexican-American owners or other chains will come in and provide those Hispanic markets. And then you have other food deserts, like you said, in South LA and other areas that, predominantly with African Americans too, that they just don't really see that they're going to buy it and buy into the community.
Well, looking at those two families we saw, right? I mean, very few fruits and vegetables in that African American family. So that, I mean, that's an issue. The Ralphs in Westwood and the Ralphs in, like, gosh, I think it's over here somewhere. I think it's Inglewood. You been to that Ralph's probably?
There's a Ralph's in Hawthorne.
Hawthorne? Talk about night and day. Completely different layout. You walk into the Westwood Ralph's, and it's immediately fruit and vegetable section. Everything's glistening, and it's got, you know, wood floors. And probably one of the nicest Ralph's in the country, I would say. Pretty new. The Ralph's in South LA is the first thing you see are sugary beverages. All the end caps are really cheap, high sugar, simple carbs. You know, and it's the business model, supply demand. You know, are the food retailers responsible for childhood obesity? You know, is it in their realm of responsibility as a you know, a business owner? I mean, that's something we can talk about in a little bit. I'll go ahead and move on. So there's a term obesogenic environment that's kind of been developed, and it's an environment that promotes obesity, basically. And we can see a lot of these, I mean, this picture here for sure. Let me just ask, about the film, how would you say San Diego compares? Yes?
Well, I have to drive a lot to either pick up my students come from all over San Diego, and we do an internship program too, so I drive a lot into the neighborhoods. I myself, I live in a beach community, so it's not like that at all. There isn't even that many like chain restaurants, more so we just own it. But in those communities, you see, you know, you're right, you don't see a lot of the chain food retailers. You will see a lot of like Asian type of grocery stores or Hispanic type of grocery stores. You do see a lot of those, but it is mingled with a lot of fast food. But it's not where, I haven't seen an area where I don't think there's any place like a grocery store.
Right.
Like as bad as that.
Right. No, I think that's what
I just don't think the area is as big. San Diego is not as big, like where there's so many, I mean, it's concentrated, but it's just not as many miles.
Right.
So I think that's
San Diego doesn't have a history of Los Angeles. I remember interviewing she must have been like 82-year-old African-American woman that lived in the projects in South LA somewhere. It was for this medical anthropology study, and she was talking about she moved with her husband from the South to LA back in the 50s. They had they bought a house, $30,000 or whatever, and the kids would play in the street, and you know, they owned their own home, and it's gone from that shifting to the urban life that it is now. And so it's within those couple of generations, and she talks about her grandkids being latchkey kids and not knowing how to cook at all. So, I mean, it's a big shift that we're seeing generationally. The environment's changing and our wastelands are changing. But yeah, I think I'm glad that I can talk about LA because it's one of the worst. But San Diego, we have different problems I'm still learning about.
There's even Costco's in those areas. I mean, there's a big Costco right in the area that's pretty bad. But if you go in there and I've shopped in there before, it's just like all the other ones. And it's always crap.
And then also have membership Costco. So they're not like goes in, and you have to like pay for membership.
That's true. Yeah, good point. Oh, comment?
I think what's so different about LA and San Diego is that San Diego has like a grocery store in every corner, right? Because where I live by the Sleepback College, and then I live like right in the middle of the high school and the middle school, and I'm like a block away from the Rose Parks, and like I have a grocery store that's like half a block away from my middle school. And then there's a grocery store that's a block away from my house. And then there's like, okay, so here's my house, here's a grocery store, here's another grocery store, here's another one, and there's another one over here. But then in all those grocery stores, like all the groceries are all the way in the back.
You mean the produce is?
Yeah, the produce and stuff, like, they're all the way in the back. So you have to like walk through all your cravings of chips and stuff to get to the fruit and vegetables. And like, it's always been hard to me because like, I always loved chips and sodas. And I'm like, I'm 14 now, so I think it's normal for me because I'm still a teenager. But like, just like, whenever I want a fruit or I have a craving for like a vegetable, like I have to walk through all my other cravings to get to them. So I think it's more like where the placement is in the stores here, instead of like all the fast food restaurants.
Very interesting. Thank you for your feedback. That's so for you after school, if you're hungry, you go to one of the grocery stores and get a snack.
There's
Or?
like a Murphy's Market by my school, so I usually just go there with my friends after school, and they buy like their chips and stuff, and I buy like an apple and orange, and they're like, "You're weird," and I'm like, "I know I am," but yeah, like I'm me and they're there, and like I've been changing my eating habits because I'm overweight for my age, and like when like it's hard for me because like I'm always been used to eating chips and soda, but like I'm getting more into it because I'm in all these groups that like the farmers market. I'm in that. I'm in the garden on 54th Street. I'm in all this stuff that promotes vegetables, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. So like I think the problem here is where the placement is in the groceries, and the problem is that they don't have any groceries. So it's very different, but it's alike.
So at the wise age of 14, you have a unique perspective that maybe none of us do in here, and I can't speak for where all of you come from, but I think your voice is extremely important, and I think that you could play a role in going to city council or wherever, and maybe I can talk with you afterwards about how we can do that. But to speak your voice about what you're seeing and what you're experiencing, this is what we need to do to make the changes in the community now. We can't wait. We need to do it now. So I would really encourage, keep being involved in everything you are. And I think for the rest of us that are in public health, it's probably really exciting to hear a young woman like this who is actually taking advantage of and the environmental changes at the farmers markets. That stuff has changed your behavior. So that's cool. That makes me happy. Thanks for sharing. Who else had a comment? Okay.
I just wanted to share what some of the a personal issue that I've encountered me and my family, and me trying to incorporate healthy choices into my household. And I tell my mom, because she's still the provider, can you get this? Can you get this? But she says it's too expensive, and I think that's another issue we need to address. Yes, she knows we need meat, fruit, and veggies, and she does provide a lot of that. But then, then she'll buy in bulk something else because it's cheaper, as opposed to just sticking to healthy choices. And like I said, completely.
Totally a huge problem, a big issue that we don't have time to go into today. But I encourage you all to learn more about the food system, the farm bill, what things are subsidized, like corn and fruit and vegetables aren't. Those things play a role in why fruits and vegetables are more expensive. We need changes on that level. We need changes in the store layout. So these are all great ideas. Yes?
So I live in City Heights too, along with my buddies here, and what we've noticed that I live on the stretch of Alcohol Boulevard, and from one grocery store, which is Vaughn's, on College and Alcohol Boulevard, to the Albertsons Way on University, that's 30 blocks. And so I don't really have an option